So you inadvertently started off with these small scale startups, some of which went
Right.
on to become really big. But we'll talk about that in a later segment. But
Sure.
the takeaway here is that so you were dabbling with startups, you were professionally involved with small scale organizations, and then you ended up working with Infosys, with ICICI, with so many more, right? So having the experience of working in a startup and corporate, I really wanted to understand that in the last few years, since the startup world has really taken India by storm, I see
Right.
this sense that many people want to leave their corporate marketing jobs or like want to leave their corporate coding or development jobs or whatever and really enter startups to try and want to market their startups and go into that segment. They think that
Right.
corporate marketing is probably not giving them the level of satisfaction they want or whatever the reasons may be. But
Right.
for someone who's probably on the fence on this decision,
Yeah.
what would you tell them? How different is it to market a corporate versus marketing a startup?
So I've been on both sides of the table actually. So I've obviously had a couple of startups of my own. I've worked in marketing as a SaaS marketer at a startup like CleverTap, which is well on its way to becoming a unicorn today. I worked in the enterprise tech space with brands like Infosys, ICICI, and now Netcore. The point here is that let me start by stating the advantages of working in a marketing function at a startup. There's definitely more exposure, and you have to understand truly that your job designation, which is an associate marketing manager or a marketing manager, it does not encompass all your KRAs, because at the end of the day, a startup runs a really tight ship. It's a lean team, so the kind of KRAs, your key responsibility areas that come in are plentyfold. You aren't just restricted to writing copy, running ads, doing email marketing, coming up with the next offline branding campaign. There is so much more to do, so much more to learn, so much more to scale. So, which is why the learning curve is very steep, and it is very expedited, because most startups embrace the entire concept of fail fast and scale faster. So,
Right.
from a learning standpoint, that is really, really important. Also, because there is so much more on your plate, there is more accountability that comes to the table.
Right.
So, which means that there are a whole set of challenges that come with that. Um, it forces you to grow up faster in life, both personally and professionally, because you have to figure it out for yourself, and you have to do it fast, because you may not have the guidance, you may not have the mentorship, you
Right.
may not have the time to make those quick decisions. So you have to figure out a lot of things by yourself. So you are compelled to ask both yourself and those around you more critical questions. So it helps you think through things a lot faster and with a lot more clarity. And obviously, there is a high risk to reward ratio involved here, because you have taken the gamble to go to a startup. You don't know whether it's going to stay afloat 12 months down the line, but you have to believe in the
But
cause that the founder.
Pradyut, here's
Yeah,
something, right?
sure.
The fact that a startup exposes you to a lot of things because in many cases as a from a bird eye point of view, if I were to look at it,
Sure.
the kind of
Sure.
work that a corporate marketing director does is very
Right.
similar to the work that an assistant manager would do at a startup because their designations don't matter, right? It's all about that
100%.
तू एक बंदा है सब कुछ खुद ही करेगा, right? हमने
Correct.
marketing के लिए, so like it so happened, right? In one of the
Common joke there is you are like the OMG, the only marketing guy. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And there was this one conversation I had with one of my clients, okay, and I asked him, so if you want to scale up your business from 0 to 100,
Sure.
how much marketing budget you're willing to have? And they're like, look, we hired you, you are a marketing consultant, our marketing budget is your salary. And when your back is when you have your back against the wall, you really have to
Yeah.
start thinking and get to something. But all of that really ends
Yeah.
up glamorizing the startup marketing industry. But what about corporate marketing? Is it all that bad? I mean,
Yeah, so
is
I was coming to that. That was my last point when it came to the advantages, the high risk to reward ratio.
Okay.
When it comes to enterprise or corporate level marketing, obviously there is so much more structure involved. There is a lot more security. You can count on picking the brains of and getting mentorship and guidance from folks who have already proven themselves in the industry over a period of time.
Right.
The budgets that you're playing with will obviously be far more. You may not be a sole custodian of the budget, but you know exactly what budget your marketing team may have signed up for on a yearly, half yearly, and a quarterly basis. So the playing ground in terms of how to spend money is vast, but
Right.
what you end up doing, that entire kitty or basket of money could be limited, because those strategies have already been put into place by someone two levels above you. I'm talking about someone who is an entry level marketer or someone
Right.
who's a deputy manager, assistant manager, right? You are not in a position to call the shots, which is a good place to be at because you need to learn, as you go step by step as well. So it is a very structured setup. The risks are obviously a lot lesser because it's such a large organization and they can afford to make those mistakes.
Right.
But I just feel that if you are looking to scale fast, and I think a lot of us millennials today are looking to do that and truly invest in a company, in a mission that we believe in, then a startup could be something that you might want to look at. But always bear in mind that with great risk also comes a lot of there are a lot of challenges that come with that, so it is never going to be smooth sailing.
Right.
Similarly, in the enterprise space, also, right, there may be occasions where things are not moving fast enough. You're sitting on approvals for a month, month and a half. Your agencies haven't been paid. I see you smile because so I can
Right.
see that you relate to those challenges as well. So it's never smooth sailing on in either sea or ocean. You have to figure out what is the best fit for you and also what your personality is aligned to.
Right.
Also, what life cycle stage you're at. Are you fresh out of MBA? Are you, have you just gotten recently married? Have you started a family? So various factors are going to dictate which boat you put your foot into.